In this video, we're going to be ranking the Dishonored bone charms. So in the first game, there's a total of 33 bone charms. Instead of ranking them from 1 to 33 systematically, we're going to rank each individual bone charm from 1 to 10, and then put them into different categories. I think that's a much better way of doing things. Getting right into it, the first category are the bone charms that are given a 1 out of 10. So the reason why these bone charms get a 1 is because they're not really that effective. Like when you use them in the game, they don't really seem to do that much. And also, they're also abilities that you don't really need to use that often, or can't, because it's kind of scarce. For example, the albino bone charm it increases the chance for albino rats to appear. So it does seem kind of cool when you think about it, but this is an ability that you have to use in tandem with other bone charms, which I can't remember which one I'm thinking about exactly, but you can actually consume white rats to actually increase your mana. So that's something you can do, but the chances of you using that ability are very low because it's not like there's a rat swarm around every corner. You might find a couple on a map during a mission, but you won't run into many that often. Same with Carrion Killer. You receive adrenaline points for killing rats. Like, how often are you going to run into a rat swarm? Maybe once or twice during a mission. So that means that you can only build up adrenaline using rats once or twice every mission. Which, if you're a combat player, that's not very, favorable because adrenaline's something you want to build up, quite quickly if you're a combat player. And if there isn't a rat swarm around, then, it's like, what are you going to do? The next category is abilities that have a 2 out of 10 rating. So looking at Clockwork Malfunction, so basically if an enemy throws a grenade at you, it takes longer to explode. Obviously it is a handy ability, especially if you're a combat player, because if you're dealing with opponents and someone throws a grenade, it can be a sticky situation. And if you have that extra 2 to 3 seconds to, evade the bomb, that does help. But once again, you kind of see grenades coming, especially if you're fighting overseers. Their movement is quite, telegraphic. You can see exactly what they're doing. So when they throw a grenade, you have enough time to dodge it. This ability, once again, can come in handy if you're really overwhelmed, but it's not really necessary. I'm looking at the other ones. I'm looking at spring water. Drinking tap water slightly regenerates mana, which once again, it is a handy ability, but you're not going to really use it that often. The next category, I am looking at Acrobat, so climbing faster. Now, before we move on, people might be asking, how is Acrobat a better rated ability than something like Clockwork Malfunction that we just mentioned? Well, the thing is, with these abilities, some of them you can actually use more often than others. So one ability might might not necessarily be better than another ability, but because you can use it more frequently, it becomes more effective. So this whole list is about not only being about how good the ability is, but about how much you can use it and how effective it is. So, there's no point having an ability if you can't use it. It's kind of like Goku. What's the point of being strong if you can't? Yeah, like what's the point of the strength if you can't punch anybody? That's basically what he says. I know I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z, but same thing applies. There's no point having an ability if you can never use it or you can rarely use it. Like it loses its purpose. So yeah, once again with these abilities, you don't really use them that often. Twist of Fortune too increases the chance of regenerating your mana after you drink an elixir. So, obviously it is cool to have that ability on, and you do find elixirs all over the map, but, your actual mana bar isn't that big to begin with, so after you've taken like one elixir, your bar is nearly full. I'm guessing with this one, it does fill up your bar completely or a little bit, but it doesn't really seem like it's that much of an advantage. Alright, the next category is just a couple here. We've got Plague Resistant, which is Weepers deal less damage to you. And again, it's not necessarily a bad ability, but how often are you actually going to be taken by surprise by Weepers? Weepers, there are situations where there are like, 5 to 6 in an area, and you can be like overwhelmed, but once again, they're not really that dangerous. You can just like blink over them or, behind them to confuse them, and you can take them out from range just like any other enemy. And it's not really that big of a deal. And obviously you've got Rat Scent as well. Rats attack Corvo only if he comes close. It's a cool ability to have, but once again, it's not mandatory. It's not like an ability that you absolutely have to need to get through the game. And that's the problem with a lot of these bone charms. They're not really essential. Like, you don't really want to get them or have to get them to get through a level. Moving on, we've got abilities that are 5 out of 10. So we've got Oxblood, extends mana bar, which, once again, can come in handy. Oh, I keep getting that wrong, actually. Can. I need to practice my English because it is not great. So, yeah, this ability, can be quite handy, having that extra mana, especially if you use Blink a lot. Sometimes you can actually run out, and you need that extra little bit of mana to be able to use it again. But, once again, like this ability, it's it's not like an ability that's gonna like absolutely save you in a situation. It can, but more often than not, you're gonna have elixirs on you, so it's not really that big of an issue. Then you've got Tough Skin, extends the health bar. Once again, it is handy, but it's not the end of the world if you don't have it. Undertaker, faster moving while carrying bodies. This is very good if you're a stealth player, like, being able to carry bodies quickly, and so you can be able to, get out of the way of the side of other guards. You take one out, carry that body quickly around the corner, and then, carry on with the mission. Very, very good, but once again, you can use abilities like Blink to blink away. And, actually, no, I don't think you can use Blink while you're carrying a body. No, you can. I'm pretty sure you can. I should know this. Yeah, I think you can. So you can just do that instead. Next category, 6 out of 10 abilities. What have we got? Robust 2. So you receive considerably more health points when you drink a potion. So, um, if you're a player that gets hit a lot, this would be mandatory because, you don't want to be taken out during a mission. But once again, the mana bar, it's not really that big of a deal. If in the game, you put this on and it doubled your health bar, like I'd be like, all right, this is probably essential. You need this, but because your health bar doesn't really increase that much, it's like a tiny bit. It doesn't really feel like it's worth it. Then you've got reinforced bolts, so a lower chance for a bolt to break when it sticks to an enemy body. So, obviously, yeah, if you're a player that uses arrows a lot, you might want to put this on so that you can actually um conserve your ammo, and so they can actually progress through the mission without running out of tools. But you know, uh, it is a good ability, but there's ammo everywhere, so it's not really something that you need to excuse me, you need to excuse me, you need to stress yourself over. I'm gonna take a glass of water real quick because my voice is starting to go. Excuse me, I might cut that out. Alright, I think I'm officially back. Alright, so let's continue. Next category is 7 out of 10 abilities. So we've got strong arms, so that's being able to choke your enemy out faster. This is very good if you're a stealth player, so you can actually take out players. Actually merciful, so you want to take out players quickly without actually, taking them out permanently. And so you can actually take them out and then, take them around a corner or something. And I think it's a 7 out of 10 ability because I do think it becomes really essential as a stealth player because you want to be able to tell. Actually, I'm sorry, as a merciful player because you want to be able to take out plays quickly without being noticed. And in this game, quite often you'll be taking out an enemy and then somebody else will come around the corner. So you want to be able to take out enemies quickly so that you can move on and do other things. What else have we got? We've got Welcoming Host, which is the power of possession lasts longer, which is kind of a godsend. This should actually be like an 8 out of 10 ability because um, being able to last with possession longer, you can actually you can actually take over, an enemy or an opponent. You can go into another room and they can get so much done. Whereas, let's just say that using regular possession, you might take over an opponent, but you might not make it to another room. Like it'll just like phase out, and then you'll be caught. So I think it is a very good ability. So 8 out of 10 abilities next. We're nearly done. We've got Plague Affinity. So what that is it's probably on the screen actually. I didn't have to explain it, but I just like doing that. Taking damage from Weepers comes with receiving additional mana points. So I don't know why I put this ability here. I feel like it feels like ability that's a 3 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10 because I don't think you should have to take damage to be able to get a benefit from it. So being able to take damage and your mana increasing, that doesn't really make sense to me. Like I feel like the game wants to kind of almost punish you but rewarding at the same time, which doesn't really make any sense. It would have made more sense if you took down an enemy and then your mana increased, which it does happen with other abilities, with other bone charms, but this one just doesn't make any sense. Then you've got Vengeance, which is as you take damage, your mana increases. Once again, it's an ability that you have to take. Oh my god. Well, you have to take damage to be able to increase another area of your skill set. Which once again, I think it's kind of ridiculous that the devs actually went through with this, but it's whatever. Last category is 9 out of 10 abilities. So these are basically the best abilities in the game because once again, they're very effective and you can actually use them quite often. So spiritual pull, uh, faster mana, faster mana regeneration. Oh my god, I keep finding my words. So this ability is basically it's constant. So once you put it on, just leave it on, and you don't have to do anything ever again. A very very good ability. It's effective and it's basically used all the time. Very very good. And the other one is sustained rage. So adrenaline lasts for longer, meaning that once you've actually built up adrenaline, you can actually use bloodthirst for much longer, which is kind of a godsend for um, combat players because adrenaline doesn't usually last for that long. Usually you only have time to take out one or two enemies or maybe two or three, but with this you can actually take out four or five enemies. So very very good, and yeah, that's about it.